everybody, and welcome back to the fourth episode of the MMA Island Castaways podcast. I am JB Harrell, and I'm joined today by just James Lehart. We got a little bit of a small crew today, but we're still going to get you updated on all your news and information from the world of MMA this weekend. Now, this weekend we had a UFC Fight Night with Uriah Hall facing off against Sean Strickland. We also had Bellator 263, where Patricio Pitbull took on AJ McKee. We had a Cage Warriors event, and then also next weekend we have UFC 265, Derek Lewis and Cyril Gahn that we're going to break down for you. So, James, let's just go ahead and get started.
Okay, yeah. So obviously the main one this week was Hall vs Strickland. So we jumped straight into the main event. I don't know what is wrong with Uriah Hall when it comes to these big events. When it comes to the big fights, he always seems to, I don't want to say bottle it or choke, but he doesn't seem to bring his A game to these big fights. This was his main event. This was all set for him. If he would have won this fight, he's not next in line, but he's jumping up to that contendership. And this is where he always seems to fall up the hurdle. It's the hurdle that he always seems to just hits this wall every single time. I'm not sure why. I don't know whether it's because he can't deal with the nerves of the pressure or what. It seems to be every time he gets this big stage, this big platform. Do you remember, like the Ultimate Fighter? The Ultimate Fighter was designed for him to win.
Yep.
It was designed. There was the whole narrative was Uriah Hall was this big beast. He did a crazy spinning back kick, knocked someone out cold. If I remember rightly, he knocked someone out from the bottom, didn't he? As well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yep.
in the Ultimate Fighter. So this was designed for him to win the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah,
but then
he was the only one used on the marketing.
Yeah, well, exactly. Then Calvin Gastelum came and obviously finished the show.
Yeah,
and it's the same here. The narrative for this was, yeah, Sean Strickland's a bit of a crazy fighter, but he's a crazy fighter. That's it. It was all aimed at Hall winning this fight, and now it's back to square one again for him. So. Can we put him down as he is the gatekeeper? Is that what he is? Is that what he's always going to be, as a gatekeeper?
I don't know. I mean, it is getting late in his career, but man, I mean, he just always, like you said, he doesn't seem to be able to get over that hump. And I thought, especially this weekend, he just didn't look like he was in rhythm at all. It seemed like he could never really settle into the fight.
Yeah, I mean,
never really.
The first 2 minutes, I thought,
go like.
The first 2 minutes, he was getting out jabbed and thought, okay, he's just working his way into this. Uriah Hall going to come into this in a couple of minutes and then into the next round. And just every round, I was thinking, he's going to come into this, he's going to come into it, and there was nothing there. I mean, how did you score it?
I had it just 50-45 for Strickland.
See, I had it 50-44. I should go on to my verdict, because I actually scored on verdict. I think I scored the third round at 10-8. Let me just double check that. Yes, so I scored for round 3 of 10-8.
Yeah.
He was just getting his ass kicked. That third round, he was just getting his ass absolutely kicked. Now, one of the scorecards was 49-46. I don't know what that judge was watching.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show, like last week, you never know what these judges are looking at, and you never know what's really coming on the judges' scorecards. I cannot think of a single round where Uriah Hall was close to winning a round. Yeah,
I was trying to. I watched it. But 49, 48, 46. But what round could they have possibly scored to Uriah Hall? And I looked at it. I watched it back again, and I thought, there's not one single round you could award him. There's no argument anywhere for him getting around.
Nah.
I mean,
Strickland.
I was a bit reluctant to score round 3, 10-8, but then I thought, you know what? He's not showing off any offensive whatsoever. So yeah, it's 10-8.
Nah. Yeah, I can definitely see that. I mean, I'm looking at the stats now. I mean, 186 significant strikes to 107, with 173 of those coming as head strikes from Sean Strickland to Uriah Hall. I mean, his boxing really did look great.
Yes, it did. Yes, he did. To be fair, let's not take anything away from Sean Strickland. He put on a hell of a performance.
Yeah.
We're all talking about Uriah Hall and how he performed badly, but Sean Strickland also performed amazingly.
Yeah.
He put on really, really solid performance, which now elevates him. So it's what's next for him now, and all eyes should be on him. And I think he's a really fun fighter. It's a bit crazy, but he's a fun fighter. I mean,
Yeah,
do you
he's a bit
remember when he
different.
was? Do you remember he was fighting Jack Marshman and he's saying to Jack Marshman, "Come on, Jack, hit me, hit me.
Yeah, yeah.
Why won't you
He's
go down?"
definitely
Stuff like that. Yeah,
he's definitely an interesting character.
he is. He really is.
Some of his did you catch his comment in the Octagon press conference? He said, "If it wasn't for the UFC, I'd probably be cooking meth in a trailer somewhere."
Yeah, he's a
So,
bit of a character, but characters sell.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I saw some people on Twitter comparing him as the American Bisping, which I thought was kind of funny.
Well, apparently him and Bisping have a little bit of a beef as well.
Really?
That's Bisping said on his podcast that he was happy that he weren't going to be the one to interview either Hall or Strickland because they both have a problem with Bisping.
Really?
Said,
Interesting.
yeah, Bisping said what happened with Uriah Hall. It was because Derek Brunson was walking out and Bisping was calling one of Brunson's fights, and he said Brunson knocked out Uriah. Why is no one he's talking through the stats? He's saying Brunson knocked out Uriah Hall.
Yeah.
Uriah Hall tweeted and saying he didn't fucking knock me out, you piece of shit, or something like that. And Bishop was like, well, it's a TKO, so basically it's a technical knockout, so you got knocked out.
Yeah.
So they seem to have a bit of a beef, and I think he mentioned they used to train Strickland, and they've sort of got a bit of a back and forth going on.
Okay.
But that's Bisping. He's got problems right.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's Michael Bisping for you.
He got problems.
But yeah,
right. No,
yeah. The main takeaway from the main event, at least for me, is Sean Strickland came in, I think, on a 4-fight win streak. He was the number 11 ranked middleweight contender.
yes.
He should be. This fight should really elevate him. His first main event, obviously, and he goes out there and puts on a great performance and gets the job done.
Yes. He's definitely going to be put in there. I think he gets probably lower end of the top 10 now. Not lower end. So like rank 6, rank 7. He will fight someone there around about, maybe somewhere at the top 5. But if he can keep stringing performances together, he's going to be fighting for the title soon.
Yeah.
I would really like to see him fight Danny Till. That'd be a fun fight.
Yeah. I imagine he'll probably come in right around where Darren Till's at 8 currently and Kelvin Gastelum at 9. I imagine he'll be somewhere right around in that range.
So there's some fun fights for him to be had for him, to be honest. And the middleweight, let's be honest, the middleweight division does need a bit of a boost.
Yes, I agree, and they also need another contender to come and fight the champion.
Yeah, because there always seems to be these couple of the contenders there. It's Whitaker, Gastelum, and Till. So we need some more people within that mix. Paulo Costa, okay, you can say Paulo Costa. After that performance against Starbender, I'm not too sure you put him in a title fight anytime soon.
Yeah, maybe Cannonier is two or so wins away, coming off a loss. But that loss was to Robert Whitaker, who I think is definitely the top contender right now.
Yeah, he definitely. And I think Robert Whitaker's he's always got the chance to be champion again.
Yeah.
It wouldn't shock me if he's champion very soon again. It wouldn't be the biggest surprise of the year, to be honest with you. He is that good.
Yeah.
But that's just the middleweight division does need a bit of a boost. Yeah, but it's the same with the 3 heaviest divisions. They all need that bit of boost. They all seem to be lacking in competition.
Yeah. Just dominant champions, really.
Yeah, it is dominant champions, but I'd also argue that the competition isn't amazing. If we compare it, it's obviously it's solid competition. They are the elite of the elite.
Yeah. But you if
we look at the lower divisions,
yeah,
you can make a title fight with anybody in the lower divisions because they're just so talented and the talent pool is so big. Look at the lightweight and the division. Look at the featherweight division. There's lots of fights to be made there. Whereas you look at the heavier divisions, there's only so many fights the champion can make.
Yep, that's very true. That's very true. Yeah, elsewhere on the UFC card, I mean, it was a pretty fun card. It kind of fell victim to a few COVID cancellations. There was a missed weight cut there.
Yes, yeah,
There's-
but I mean, it was. Forget all the cancellations. It was still a fun card. I was really
yeah,
worried that it was going to slack. I mean, I've not looked at the viewing figures yet, but I wouldn't be shocked if Bellator performed better this weekend due to the
yeah,
fact that there was so many last minute cancellations. There was actually a last minute cancellation, then it got switched to allowed back on.
yeah,
There
yeah.
were so many back and forth for this weekend's card. It's a bit of a strange one, really. This is where COVID's really hit the UFC this week.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, in the US, it's kind of getting back. The numbers are starting to trend up again with the Delta variant, and
This is the big worry. And I know from what I can gather, the UFC's London card's not happening.
yeah, yeah,
I,
that's what I've heard as well.
it's due to a worry with this new Delta variant. So from what I can gather, I know Paddy Pimblett is now was supposed to fight in London. He's not no longer. He actually put on his Instagram the other day. He's flying out to Vegas in 4 weeks. I'm assuming he's fighting in 4 weeks' time in Vegas.
That'll be good. That's a debut I'm very excited to watch.
It is, yes. Whoever he's fighting, it's going to be a fun fight.
Yeah,
It really
yeah,
will be. So with him heading over to Vegas, I can pretty much more or less say the UFC London's not happening at all.
yeah, yeah. It'll
But
definitely be something to watch because also with that upcoming card that they want to do in Madison Square Garden, in front of fans, who knows if that one ends up.
yeah, it wouldn't surprise me they take all the marquee events and just stick it on Fight Island. It wouldn't surprise me to go back to Fight Island again.
Yeah,
Things aren't looking. I'm not sure how bad it is in the States at the minute, but things aren't looking very good well at the minute. In
yeah,
terms of COVID. I
yeah,
know masks have come back, haven't they?
yeah, yeah,
So they've said you have to start wearing your masks again, all that stuff. So it's not looking very, very fighter friendly at the minute, or event
yeah.
friendly.
Definitely churning down, and that resulted this weekend. I think we only had a nine fight card with only 5 fights, obviously on the main card.
Yeah.
If we wanted to hop over to some of those, not too many talking points. Jared Gooden had a stunning KO, or
Yeah.
not really stunning, but a very good KO of Stolze in the first round.
So that was a fight that was originally called off, but then I'm
Yeah,
not sure what happened there. What happened? You know what actually happened? I just
I don't.
I heard it got taken off. I thought, okay, all right. So we lost another fight. Then all of a sudden it was back on within like a couple of hours before the event was due to start. Is that what's going on
Yeah,
here?
I'm not entirely sure what happened, but I noticed that too. I think the day before it was canceled, and then
Yes. Yes, it was. It was the cancel. It was cancelled the day before. I mean, I'll have a quick check. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened there.
here's an article here. According to officials, a breach of COVID protocol initially led to the bout's cancellation, but it was added back to the card after clearance from a doctor because neither fighter tested positive.
So a breach of the COVID protocol would suggest to me a corner man or someone within one of the teams have either caught COVID or they've left
Been
the secured,
exposed.
yeah, or they
Yeah,
probably left the secured zone. Because
yeah, yeah.
from what I can gather, the UFC once you arrive, you don't leave wherever you're
Yeah,
allocated until it's due to fight, basically, and that's how they've managed to keep this solid so far. The
yeah,
only breach I can remember was the breach where I forgot who it was, but their teammates were basically hopping in through the hotel windows,
yeah, yeah.
which
I
was
remember
crazy.
that.
That's the only breach I've actually heard of within the UFC so far. I mean, to be fair,
Yeah.
they've done amazing.
Yeah, yeah. And this is the first card in a while where we've had COVID problems, really.
It is, yeah.
And also in some big news this week, uh, UFC 265's supposed co-main Amanda Nunes versus Juliana Pena has now been called off because of a Nunes positive
Yeah.
COVID test.
So Nunes tested positive. I think they're going to reschedule it now for October, I believe,
Yeah,
October time. So she's gone. So Aldo is now co-main event. It's a shame,
yeah,
really. I mean, the card still looks solid,
yeah,
but
yeah,
that Juliana Pena Nunes fight would have made that card complete. That would have been the cherry on the cake.
yeah.
It really would have.
Always fun to watch Nunes fight and just
What I didn't get is why Nunes weren't the main event
yeah,
because because
over an
Garnet
interim
and the Lewis is an
championship.
interim. So yeah, it's an interim.
Yeah,
So are they trying? Are they hinting to us there that Nunes isn't marketable because she is? She certainly
yeah,
she should be. If she's not, then the UFC is doing something very very wrong. Because
definitely.
there's no reason why she shouldn't be putting in big numbers. Um,
That's very true.
she's unbeatable. She has that LBGT
Yeah,
fan base behind her. There's no reason why she shouldn't be that marketable.
I agree.
It's really odd to me that she wasn't main event anyway. But in regards to that, we've lost her. October, hopefully she'll be back. Hopefully there's no long term damage.
Yeah,
She's just out of training for a few weeks and she'll come back. That's the best case scenario at the minute.
yeah, definitely. But yeah, moving on from the UFC, we also had Bellator 263. I didn't catch much of the undercard, but I did catch the main event.
It's so I caught the main event. Yeah, I mean, Pitbull. I don't know whether he got a bit ahead of himself because he was saying he wants to fight UFC fighters, he wants to fight Max Holloway, he wants to fight for the UFC title, and now well, there you go. It is what it is.
Yeah. I don't know if do you think he might have overlooked AJ McKee a little bit?
I think he did.
Yeah.
Personally, I think he did overlook AJ McKee and he was just looking to the future. And he looked way too far ahead and he got caught. But AJ McKee is someone you shouldn't really be overlooking.
No, that's what I was going to say. AJ McKee
He's dangerous for anyone. AJ McKee, if he was in the UFC, top 3, easy.
Yeah.
But then again, Pitbull, top 5, easy.
Yeah. No, that's the thing is a bunch of people, for whatever reason,
just about to bring this up as well. I know exactly what you're going to say.
Yeah, they don't want to watch Bellator or they hate on Bellator because they think it's somewhat of a lower promotion than the UFC. But both of those guys on the main event Saturday night would be in the top 5 of the UFC.
This is the argument I've been having with people. I don't know why I get into the argument. It's just stupid. But they're Bellator fighters. They wouldn't last in the UFC. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Them two. Or if I could get anyone from Bellator sticking in the UFC and say these two could be your champion, it's them two.
Yeah.
It's them two. There's no doubts about it. It's them two. Pitbull, I mean, he's been doing the thing for years.
Yeah, double champ.
Exactly. And he would really stand his ground in the UFC.
Yeah.
And they could be champions at any given time in the UFC. It's just the fact that they fight for Bellator, so casuals overlook them.
Yeah,
the hardcore fans will understand because they watch everything. Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna say, if you want to say that Bellator's bad or Bellator's the second-rate promotion, Michael Chandler was this close to being your UFC champion. This close.
Yeah.
Literally a different referee away from being champion because a different referee could have stopped that fight.
Could have easily been stopped.
Easily stopped that fight. I'm glad it didn't get stopped because we got a different outcome. But if that would have got stopped, I don't think anybody could have argued the stoppage.
No, definitely
not. So, Chandler was this close to being UFC champion. Pitbull beat Chandler.
Yeah.
I know MMA maths doesn't work, but it just shows the caliber that he is at the level that he's at.
Yeah, that's the thing is
the level that he's at.
Yeah, I mean, AJ McKee moves to 18-0. I mean, it was a good performance. I mean, it didn't last super long, but man, the finishing sequence was just something to watch. I mean, he stuns him with the head kick, tries to go in with the punches, ends up getting around the.
He stunned him with the head kick. He tried to walk off, didn't he?
Yeah.
Realized shit, it's not over, and got him to the guillotine. Was Pitbull out? I don't think he was out, was he?
He wasn't like fully out. He was kind of stumbling a little. I mean, he was definitely rocked, but he wasn't fully out.
Because he had the guillotine on, and he said to the referee, he's out. But then when he let go, I don't know whether he came back straight away. But to me, it looked like he wasn't kipping.
No, after the submission, he wasn't sleeping.
So he didn't tap. That's what I meant. Unless he was given a verbal submission and he didn't tap, I'm not sure why the ref stopped that. He was going to go to sleep, so it was a good stoppage. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't really be stopping a fighter based on a fighter saying he's out. You should determine that, not the fighter for you. I mean, sometimes we've seen fights where the fighter said he's out. No, he's not. No, he's definitely asleep. We've seen that happen quite more often than we should do, really. But in this case,
definitely, he
wasn't asleep. But it's what it is. You know, we were winning that anyway. That guillotine wasn't tight. We're going to sleep either way.
Yeah.
He wasn't even defending that at all.
Nah, he wasn't even really fighting the hands or anything.
Nothing. I think he was too stunned for that head kick, to be honest with you.
Yeah. The head kick definitely had him in a dangerous position.
McKee could have finished that fight either way, by knockout or by submission. If anything, McKee kind of spared him being knocked out. By taking that route. It's the same one. Do you remember Amanda Nunes? She could have finished. Who did she fight? Oh, I forgot who it was. She dropped. What's it? She dropped it, didn't she? And then instead of finish her up a ground pound, she's put her into a choke. It kind of
was that the Megan Anderson fight?
Yes, I think it was the Megan Anderson fight. I think so. Yes, I think that was it. She dropped that, and instead of ground and pound, she just finished it with a choke.
Yep.
Kind of being a bit merciful. But yeah, in terms of fans saying, you know, these Bellator fighters, they can't last in the UFC, that's always, we've got to gas, my dog's stopped.
Yeah.
So it's just a moot point, really. It's another bollocks.
Yeah.
There are fighters in the UFC who can't, sometimes they can't hang with Bellator fighters. We've seen that happen too.
Yeah.
And there's fighters from Bellator who can't hang with the UFC fighters. It's just one of them things. It doesn't matter what promotion you're in. It's how good you are. The promotion doesn't determine how good you are.
No, definitely not.
It's like we talked about last week. We said, do you remember Strikeforce? It was the second great promotion. Yeah, most of their champions became champions in the UFC, so they couldn't be that fucking bad.
Yep.
So it's just one of them things.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, we have a few general news points to talk about, and then we can get into a little bit of a UFC 265 preview. But first up in the news, I mean, Conor's latest series of tweet and delete. If you want to speak to that, any.
I don't know what's happening to him, to be honest. I think I don't know. I don't know what's got into him. He's taken his loss very, very, very badly.
Yeah.
He's always been humble in defeat. Every time he's lost, he's like, "Oh, I'll come back better." I mean, the Nate Diaz loss was the perfect, Nate got the better of me this time. We'll get the rematch done. We'll go from there. Now, I was watching. Do you ever see Mixed Molly Whopper? The documentaries he does. No, there's certain documentaries he does. It's really good on YouTube. Check him out.
Okay.
But I was watching his last night, and it's literally just going through this, and he's saying, this time around, McGregor, I think he realised what he's just lost. He's not just lost the third fight to Poirier. He's lost a lot more than that, because the trash talking in the press conference wasn't working.
Yeah.
He was trying to say, Joni's wife. None of the fans were chatting, all the fans weren't cheering along with that. Normally he'd get the fans involved, and the fans would be like, yeah. None of that happened. He's losing everything, and you can see it, and he's crumbling. You can see him. It's like watching someone completely crumble in front of your eyes. And he's taken his defeat really, really poorly.
Yeah, he definitely has. I mean, part of me thinks it's just him trying to stay relevant, I don't think
it is. I think he's realised what he's lost. He can no longer be this cocky fighter anymore. His stick, it's gone.
Is up.
It's gone. The Mystic Mac, it's gone. He used to say, "Oh, I'm going to knock someone out in the second round," and he knocked him out in the second round. I'm going to knock him out in 30 seconds. He said, "Poirier's going to leave in a stretcher. He's going to leave. Yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that." Everything he said happened to McGregor instead. So the Mystic Mac, the mystique of Mystic Mac, it's gone. And I think Conor's realised that. But
Yeah.
what my issue here is why go for Khabib and Khabib's dad when he's even nothing to do with this? What's the motivation there? Khabib's not going to fight you again.
Yeah.
The last person he's going to come out the last person he's going to come out of retirement for is Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Why would he want to come out to fight Conor McGregor when he absolutely there's no point sugarcoating it. He demolished Conor McGregor in that fight.
Yeah.
It wasn't even close. So why would he bother coming out to retirement to fight Conor McGregor? What? Because he said stuff about his dad. Khabib doesn't play them games. He didn't care. He didn't give two shit. The only fight that Khabib's going to come out for is GSP, or some big fight like that. I don't know what's got into McGregor. Maybe he's had a few beers and a couple of lines. I think it's the people. To be through chronology, it's the people he's associating himself with.
Yeah, we've been saying this since his loss to Poirier.
I think he needs,
even before.
Yeah, it's the people he's associating himself with. They're no good for him. It's like you see it sometimes. You'll see a friend and they're associating themselves with another group of friends and they're bringing him down, and you can see it.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, it's a shame. Someone needs to tell him. That's what someone needs to pull Conor McGregor aside and say, well, fuck these people off. These are no good for you. You need someone to tell you. You need to put you straight, basically. I think he needs a whole new team. That includes getting rid of his trainer. That means relocating somewhere else. He just needs, if he's to stay in this game, and I hope he does, because the problem with McGregor is, as much of a, and he at the minute he's been a prick. As much of a prick as he's been at the minute, he's bloody talented.
Yeah,
he is,
and
talented.
he's got the market to.
Yes, and he's so talented, and it's a bloody shame. It's an absolute crying shame that this is what he's doing. He's wasting away his prime years by drinking, by taking drugs, by associating themselves with people who are just going to say, yes, oh, that's funny, that is Conor. Yeah, go on, tweet away, Conor, tweet away. He needs someone to say to him, why are you doing that? It's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
He needs someone to give him a backhander, and you say, pack it in.
Yeah. Yeah.
The people he's with, they're just no good.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's been easy to see, especially in his fights. I mean, just he always has the mentality, that he's the best in the world, but I think that there's just too many people in his corner telling him that he is the best in the world when in fact he's getting outworked by the Dustin Poiriers of the world.
Yes, this is the problem. There's people telling him that you go, oh, you did really well in that round, you were winning. That's his coach. You were winning that round. You were winning that round. You just fucking winning that round. Even nowhere close to winning that round. So, is that someone you want to be your head coach, telling you but you won that round?
No.
You want someone to be honest with you. I'd say you lost that round, and you need to come out this next round. You need to go for it because you lost that round, and you didn't just lose by a little bit. You lost by a large margin. You're actually down 2 rounds now because you lost that first round. Yeah, that's what he needs. He needs someone to put him straight.
Yep.
And that's not what he's got. And it's a shame. It's a really, 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 really bad shame.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. Moving on, we had Chris Weidman after, walking and back in the gym weeks after his surgery, revealed that his leg isn't healing correctly and had to get another surgery.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to re-break the leg again. And then fitting some more plates in. I think they're going to put some titanium plates in there. So it's a shame. And just quickly going back to Conor, this is something that I picked up as well. He's posting pictures of him training his leg, lifting heavy weights on his leg. And from what I heard, he's having a charity boxing fight as well in September the 11th.
Yeah.
Apparently it's wheelchair based, but he's gonna do some damage to his. I got a feeling he's gonna damage his leg. Weidman style. Yeah. But going back to Weidman, it's an absolute shame. He looked like he was on the road to recovery. He looked like he was healing well. He was getting back into training, and then all of a sudden we're being told no, it's not working for him. He's hurting, and it's just basically gone to the doctor, and the doctor said, look, it's not healing properly. We're gonna have to give you more surgery, which is a shame. So he's probably gonna be out for another 6 months now, maybe longer.
Yeah. Yeah.
which is at Weidman's age, it's not good, not a good thing at all.
No, yeah. Towards the end of his career anyway, just based off age and how long he's been fighting already, and then this isn't doing him any favors.
It's not, no. Time catches up with everyone. And I'm not saying this is a time catching up with Weidman type of thing, but if he has to, so if he's out, if he was going to be out for 6 months anyway, and that's another 6 months on top of that. Let's be realistic. He's probably going to be out now for at least a year.
Yeah.
A year in this sport is a long, long time. A year in any sport's a long time. I mean, last week I went back to jiu-jitsu, first time in 2 years. And when I was rolling around, I thought, you know what? These guys, even the white belts are getting so much better.
Yeah.
And it's like, I've been sat out for 2 years. 2 years isn't a long time. I realised, no, 2 years in a combat type of sport, it's a very, very long time. Stuff evolves.
Yeah.
Things evolve so fast. New fighters come along. New techniques come along. It's like they were doing certain, like, the last time I trained, no one was doing knee bars. Everyone last week was doing knee bars.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, it's just so totally different to 2 years ago. 2 years isn't a long time, but it is in this type of sport. So in MMA, in professional MMA, 2 years or a year is a very, very long time to be out. Things change so fast.
Yeah, the game evolves and the talent pool just gets better and better.
It's like 2 years ago, no one throwing car kicks. Now they are. Things are changing so fast. So for Weidman, at his age, to be coming off an injury where he could potentially break it again in his fight back, it's going to be a rough ride, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Which is a big shame, really.
Yeah, it is. It is. And speaking of knee injuries, we got an update on TJ Dillashaw's knee injury. I think it's a 6-month recovery.
Yeah, so he said that he's going to have 6 months out. He has a bucket tear on his knee. So he's going to be sitting on the sidelines for another 6 months, which is a shame because he did have a good performance.
Yeah.
He said he hit injured it in the first round, didn't he?
Yeah.
So to fight for the remaining 4 rounds with a knee tear shows how good TJ is.
Yeah.
Drugs or no drugs, TJ's always going to be that talent.
And it tells me too that he really wants to be back and competing for a title.
Yeah. Like I said, drugs or no drugs. EPO doesn't give you God-given talent. TJ is really, really talented. Let's forget about all his mishaps. Okay, he's very rough in training and all that sort of stuff. Let's forget about all that for a second. TJ is a really good, talented fighter, and it's a shame that he's out again for another 6 months. Yep. Hopefully, he heals nicely. He heals really good. He's back, and hopefully this time next year, TJ's fighting for the title.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I agree. It'd be a fun fight to see, especially potentially him and Jan. I think that'd be a great stylistic.
I think Jan will be champion by then. I don't think Joe.
Yeah, me neither.
Based on that first fight. Yeah. Let's be honest, he was getting his ass kicked, and then I wouldn't say he got gifted the win, but he got handed the win.
Yeah.
It's what it is. I mean, it was a win. You can't say it wasn't a win because it was a win. It was just not a legitimate win.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be, if I was him, I wouldn't be walking around with the belt. Personally.
No, yeah, I agree.
I wouldn't be saying this is a title defense or anything like that. I'd say this is a vacant title. In fact, if I was him, I'd vacate the title personally.
Yeah.
And then I'd fight for the vacant title. That's just me personally, because I wouldn't class that as a win. However, people are people. They do what they want. So, moving on next, Rogan actually everyone's been complaining about Joe Rogan interviewing Conor McGregor after the Conor McGregor fight, after he broke his leg.
Been some great memes to come out of that.
Yeah, great memes. But Rogan actually addressed it, and he said it was actually McGregor who called him over and said to him, "Let's sit down and have a podcast here." So he actually called Rogan over and said to Rogan, "Come on, interview me. I want the interview here." It wasn't. I thought it would have been the producers and Rogan's ear saying, "Go on, get an interview." It wasn't. McGregor wanted the interview, and basically Joe said, "Who's he to turn down?"
Yeah, yeah,
But in hindsight, I still don't think he should have done the interview because it was
yeah.
really
No,
emotionally charged. But if McGregor wanted it. McGregor wanted it.
yeah,
Uh, I think McGregor does want to go on the actual podcast as well. I think that's what he said. He wants to go on JRE, which would be interesting to see. Let's see his.
yeah,
Because one thing that JRE does, it brings out the true
yeah,
personality. So I think we will get a glimpse of how true Conor McGregor is in that type of environment. Because it does.
Yeah.
It seems. I've watched so many fighters who I thought he's a bit of a dick. He is, and then they've gone on JRE, and I thought, actually, you know what? They're all right.
yeah.
It's just their personality they're giving up. It's like Colby. Colby did the Future Diaries,
Yeah,
and he wasn't a dick on that. He was actually being genuine. And I thought, you know what? If you're genuine, he's actually a good person. It's just that he's playing this character and he overplays the character.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
he's just trying to build that self-fight. So
yeah. So before we move on, it's just a quick word from our sponsors.
Enhanced performance doesn't perform at a consistently high. Enhanced performance doesn't just take place in the octagon or inside the ring. Performing at a consistently high rate requires a consistent approach in all areas of your life. Outside of training, there is a multitude of things you can do to enhance performance and muscle recovery, including sleeping well, massage, diet, and hydration. Now, there's one more thing you can actually add to that list, and that is enhanced CBD. This all-natural compound boosts a wide range of potential benefits, and for athletes, especially those engaged in contact or combat sports, CBD's anti-inflammatory and pain-relieving properties are especially promising. Enhanced CBD produce industrial hemp-derived CBD. All of their products are third-party tested and operate above the compliance standards to ensure the efficiency of what they are producing and what is consumed. Train harder, recover smarter with enhanced CBD. Order today using promo code IslandCastaways to get 10% off your order. That's promo code IslandCastaways to get 10% off your order. Visit www.enhancedcd.com. That's ENHANCD.com.
And welcome back to the Island Castaways podcast. I think we have a few more news points just to touch on, and then we'll get into our UFC 265 preview. Speaking of the Bellator fight, AJ McKee announced he's ready to face UFC competition. I think the name he gave was it Max Holloway?
It was Max Holloway. He basically said he wants Max Holloway next. How he gets Holloway next, I don't know, because he signed to Bellator, obviously. Holloway signs to the UFC, but he said he wants to face Holloway. That would be a really fun fight, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree.
How that happens, God knows. Obviously, I don't think the UFC are gonna allow that to happen.
Yeah,
I can't see any super fights or cross promotions happening anytime soon. Dana won't have anything to do with Showtime after the Floyd Mayweather Conor McGregor thing. Dana said that he'd never work with Showtime, but then again, Dana White said he'd never work with EA Games, and now look at this.
Yeah.
So it's one of them. But if it makes sense for business, then it makes sense for everyone. However, McKee, let's be honest, unless he signs for the UFC, he's not going to get them UFC fights. But they are fun fights, as we discussed earlier. They're fun fights to make, really fun fights to make.
Yeah, and there's a potential that in the distant future we see McKee coming over to the UFC.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many fights he's got on his Bellator contract.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm not totally sure on that, but it must only be a couple. I mean, I'm not sure how Bellator work. I don't think you re-sign a contract after you win a title. I'm not too sure on that one. But let's say he comes to UFC in 3 fights' time. Holloway fight is still there for him. Especially if he's champion. If McKee's champion, and let's say Holloway's contender, or even if Holloway's champion, it's champion versus champion now. Be a great fight to make.
Yeah.
But even McKee versus Volkanovski, great fight to make.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, even
Ortega, great fight to make.
Yeah.
So the sky's really the limit there. I'd like to see Pitbull come over too.
Yeah, I agree. Both guys could definitely compete in the UFC.
100%.
Yeah, and then also in Bellator news, they announced a London show after we also talked about earlier, the UFC is being canceled, but Bellator London October 1st, and we got Douglas Lima and Michael Venom Page, the rematch.
Yeah, the rematch. And let's just put it out there. This is going to be MVP's first big test since that last big test, which was Douglas Lima.
Yeah.
You know.
And that fight produced one of the crazier Bellator KOs that we've seen recently.
Yeah. Since that fight, MVP, let's not beat around the bush, hasn't really faced stiff competition.
No, yeah.
They've sort of been, I'd hate to say cans and I hate to say feeding him, but they have been feeding him.
Yeah.
And now they can't feed them anymore, so they have to give him Lima again. However, whilst that was a crazy knockout, let's not lie. Let's be fair to MVP. He wasn't doing too bad in that fight up until the knockout.
Yeah. No, yeah, I agree.
I don't think he was winning, but he was doing reasonably well.
It was a good, yeah.
It was good back and forth.
Yeah, it was a competitive fight for sure.
Until that crazy KO. MVP needs to not do anything flashy. He needs to not be a flashy fighter, really. He needs to forget all that stuff. And essentially, he just needs to focus on his core skills. He doesn't want. Not every fight needs these flashy KOs. Not every fight needs these. When he's doing these spinning back kicks, he's doing all these.
Yeah.
Spinning shit. Doesn't need that all the time.
Yeah.
Sorry, 2 seconds. It's just gone a bit funny. I'm not too sure how this fight's going to play out. I hope, obviously being British, I hope MVP wins. I can't see it happening.
Yeah, it's definitely, like you said, it's his first good competition really since his last fight with Lima, and it's been a while since that fight. So
yeah, it has. Has MVP improved since then? We're not too sure. We can't really tell because the competition he's faced didn't really give any telltale signs to how much he's improved, because he's not. MVP could have beat these people years ago anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not competition that's testing him. There's no test being given to him really.
He doesn't have to improve much to beat these guys.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So we don't know how much he's improved. Now, if it's the same MVP he fought Lima the first time, then Lima wins.
Yeah.
Because again, Lima's improved so much since that first fight too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's a very difficult fight for MVP. He might have home town advantage. I doubt it. But it's interesting that they are going ahead with this card, considering the UFC should cancel theirs.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'm going to be there for that one as well. Hopefully, it depends on how things play out. But yeah, in terms of that one, we'll see whether that happens. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. We'll see how the next 2 months play out. Really. But things aren't looking good, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just being Professor Doom, Prophet Doom, but the way things went this time last year, it's just repeating itself. Yeah,
it seems to be.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But fingers crossed, everything will work out.
So, talking of things working out, Darren Till got his Instagram back.
Yeah. So, Darren Till in the news this week with he posted a meme about transgenders and then caught a little bit of fire from.
Yeah, so initially his Instagram account got taken down. We're not gonna put the picture up. If you want to see the picture, go on his Instagram. Personally, I thought it was funny, but everyone's got their own taste.
Yeah.
But he never made that meme. He just posted it. What's happened? So from what actually happened is his Instagram got taken down. It's now back on. He had a little bit of beef, but the beef stems from the Liverpool Echo. So the Liverpool Echo is a tabloid paper in Liverpool.
Okay.
A lot of the Scousers will call it the Manchester Echo because they don't really like Scouse people. It's really weird. It's a Liverpool-based paper, but they hate people from Liverpool, and that is the truth. They're not very Liverpool friendly. they've never really been Darren Till friendly. They've never really covered Darren Till at all. Considering Darren Till is from London, Darren Till was co-main event of MSG. Darren Till sold out the O2. Was it the O2 Arena? Yes, it was the O2 Arena.
Yeah.
Considering he's done all these achievements, and he's from Liverpool, and this paper is a Liverpool-based newspaper, they've never covered him. The only time they've ever covered him is when it's negative press. So he's a little bit pissed off. He's a little bit pissed off about that. So the young reporter actually inboxed him saying, "We're going to run this article on you. You got anything to comment?" He more or less told to fuck off.
Yeah.
Darren Till being Darren Till. You can't. Thing is, you can't cancel Darren Till. He doesn't give a shit.
Yeah. It doesn't.
That's what I like about him though, because he doesn't care.
Yeah.
And sometimes you gotta have someone who just doesn't really care. So he got his Instagram back finally, but I know the police have spoken. Apparently, the police have spoken to him.
Yeah. So I saw that.
There is a law in the UK, and the law, I think, it's basically hate crime laws. So if you post something online, you can be arrested for it.
Yeah.
However, he never made the meme, so I'm not too sure how that works. He only reposted it. He didn't make it.
Yeah.
So if he didn't make it, is he doing the hate crime?
Yeah. Who knows? Nothing like very Darren Till to be.
It.
That
probably made this weekend. That probably made this weekend. He's probably buzzing off that.
Yeah.
That's Darren Till for you. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
You can't cancel someone who doesn't really give a shit.
And hopefully we'll still get to see him back in action soon. I don't really know what their plans are with
So here their plans are. He was supposed to fight UFC London against Brunson. That's now been moved to Vegas.
Okay, so it's the same.
It's the same
event. Card.
The whole event has been taken from London and put into Vegas. From what I can gather, that's what Paddy's also fighting on.
Okay, all right.
That's from what I can gather so far. But yeah, so that whole event was supposed to be in London. They've just cancelled it. They're not cancelled it. They've moved it.
Yeah, just moved locations.
What I'm guessing they've done this for is because they're anticipating maybe another British lockdown, maybe some more COVID restrictions happen. And if you remember the original UFC London, which was supposed to be Edwards versus Wonderboy.
Yeah.
That got shut down 2 or 3 days before it was supposed to go ahead, so they couldn't reschedule anything. I don't think the UFC want to take that risk again.
Yeah.
Because of all the logistics and everything involved with it, I don't think they want to take that risk again. So they just thought, you know what, let's just preempt it, let's just move the event, and let's not do a British event this year. Which I'm a bit disappointed that we're not getting a British show, because I like to, go to bed at normal times. But it is what it is. I'd rather than do the event than not do the event at all.
Yeah. Still have the fights.
Yeah, still have the fights. And just, have it rescheduled and placed in Vegas where, put it in the Apex, it can go ahead. Everyone's happy.
Yeah.
We still get an event. The UFC still get an event. All the fighters still get to fight, because that's the main issue. Is a lot of the fighters from UFC London, the original one, they didn't get to fight. If they don't get to fight, they don't get paid.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as that. You don't get paid. How are you supposed to feed your wife? How are you supposed to feed your kids?
Yeah.
So at least they get paid, and that's the main. That's the main thing, really. As long as everyone gets paid, it doesn't matter where it is. It's a bit of an inconvenience for the fans who are dying for the British show, but we can wait.
Yeah.
Everyone can wait for this.
Yeah. Moving on to the UFC 265 this weekend in Houston, Texas. We got the main event, the heavyweight interim title fight, Derek Lewis and Cyril Gane. And I mean, just at least from my gut reaction, I just want to say that Cyril Gane should take this easily, but I also said the same thing with Curtis Blades facing Derek Lewis, and look how that turned out. So
I think it's going to play out like this. For 3 rounds, Derek Lewis is going to get battered for 3 rounds. And then at the end of the 3rd round, he's just going to come out, swing, and knock him out.
Yeah.
Don't ever count Derek Lewis out.
Yeah.
Particularly after that Curtis Blades fight. Don't ever count Derek Lewis out.
I would love to see it. Should be a fun fight for sure.
I hope it's a fun fight. I hope it's a stand and bang fight. I hope it's not going to be a repeat of Ngannou and Lewis.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's just hope it plays out nicely.
Or Cyril Gahn and was it Rosenstrike that he fought on that fight night card?
Yes, it was. He played it safe, didn't he?
Just super boring. Yeah, very
But
boring fight.
I don't blame him for playing. I don't blame him playing it
No,
safe.
yeah, yeah. That's the thing about heavyweight. All these guys just have incredible power.
I'm not majorly excited for a Lewis and Ngannou too. However,
Yeah.
I am excited for a Cyril Gahn versus Ngannou. However, does that play out like the Lewis fight? Because they're both bangers.
Yeah, yeah.
Are they going to be really hesitant to throw up anything? And it's the thing,
That's
when you
true.
get two big punches in there, they're both hesitant to throw anything, and that's when you get the quote unquote boring fights.
Yeah.
So let's just. I hope it doesn't play out like that. But time will tell.
Yep. The co-main event now with the Nunes cancellation, we got in the bantamweight division Jose Aldo and Pedro Munoz, which is a pretty good matchup on
That's
paper.
a fun fight. That's gonna be a fun
and
fight.
With the way the bantamweight division has been these past few weeks, I mean, we should expect nothing less than a banger of a fight.
Jose Aldo's never really had a boring fight, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And he has had this resurgence lately. So, I hope he wins. I hope we see Aldo fight for another title soon.
Yeah, I agree. I think the fans as a whole would love to see that.
I don't think Aldo's best days are behind him yet. I think Aldo still has some good days ahead.
Yeah.
I think what I think happened with Aldo was he lost to McGregor, and then he sort of lost a bit of his confidence.
Yeah,
and now he's slowly but surely he's got that back, and he's putting on performances now. I think I do think better days are ahead for Jose Aldo.
Yeah, he's currently the number 5 bantamweight. So, I mean, a win here, and he could be looking at a potential title eliminator in his next fight.
Yeah, exactly. So, Aldo, hopefully, does the job. Pedro Munoz, he's dangerous.
Yeah.
So it'd be a fun fight to have. It's a shame we're not having the original co-main event happen, but that is what it is.
Yeah.
You'd rather Nunes fight healthy than unhealthy.
Yeah, for sure.
Because
sure.
Okay, she came down with COVID, but the isolation period would have been up by the time this fight rolled around. But who's to say she's not healthy? Don't forget she's going to have 2 weeks out of training too. So I'd rather see a fully focused, fully healthy Nunes than
potentially risk damaging her career.
Because Julia Pena is a tough fight. I think Nunes walks through her. However, Juliana Pena is a type of fighter you need to be at 100% for. Because she does pose problems.
She is dangerous.
Yeah.
Moving on in the main card at welterweight, we have Michael Chiesa and Vicente Luque, which should also be a fun stylistic fight.
Yeah. Yes,
and 2 guys.
Again, he's someone who's coming into it now. He's really starting to put into performances. It's just another fun fight. This main card is quite stacked.
Yeah. All 5 fights should be fun, competitive fights.
Who's on the undercard? Do you know?
We have Angela Hill on the main card and Casey Kinney. And then let me look at the prelims. Bobby Green and Rafael Fiziev, Vince Moraes and Draco Rodriguez, Alonzo Minifield, Ed Herman, and Carolina.
Ed Herman as in?
Ed Herman?
Ed Herman as in? The one who wore the Speedos? Ed Herman.
Oh, is that him?
I haven't heard that name in a long ass time. Is that the same Ed Herman I'm thinking of?
He is 27-14.
I think it is. I think it's the same Ed Herman. But it is. It's crazy that he's still fighting. I haven't heard of Ed Herman for a very long time. 27-14 and 0. 1-0 contest. He fought last year. submission win over Mike Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Rodriguez.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was fighting anymore. Jeez. What was that on, man? That was Waterson versus Hill card.
He's on a 1, 2, 3. On a 3-fight win streak currently.
Yeah, so he's not really been that active. That's probably why that's why when you said that to him, and then I thought, whoa, that's him. I haven't heard of him for a while because he's only had 3 fights since 2019. He knocked out Patrick Cummins. I think that might have been Patrick Cummins' last fight, actually. He went to a decision and then he submitted Komura, Mike Rodriguez. So he actually retired Pat Cummins. I'm pretty sure I turned him on. Yeah. At him was the guy who wore the with the shorts.
Yeah. I knew what you're referring to. I didn't know that was him though.
No, do you remember it was the Speedos? I think he.
Yeah, Dana White wasn't very happy about that one.
No, the guy who beat him actually got awarded a one-off. get the shorts off the TV.
Yeah.
Award so stupid like that. But Dana basically said, "Here's a couple of grand for you." Thank God you got rid of them. But yeah, sorry, that's a bit of a tangent then.
Yeah.
He's been around for years, jeez.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, I mean, should be a fun card. Obviously, we're expecting to have fans again in Houston.
Yeah, so Herman's first UFC fight was 2006.
Wow.
Team Ortiz versus Team Shamrock on Fighter 3.
Dead gum. It's been around for quite a while.
2006, Jesus. Yeah, he has. He's been around. And he fought in the UFC since then. The only time he's fought outside the UFC was Strikeforce, which was... Do you remember when the UFC sent some fighters over to Strikeforce?
Yeah.
So he fought Ronaldo Souza in Strikeforce. That's the only time he fought outside of it. So we have been around for a long time.
Yeah. Wow.
That's why as soon as you said the name Ed Herman, I thought, I can't be the same Ed Herman.
Yeah.
Crazy. Anyway, sorry, I went off a tangent now.
No, yeah, all good. That's about all we got, really. I mean, definitely something to look forward to this weekend with Lewis and Gane. You know, the pay-per-views have done a good job so far this year of delivering.
They have, yes. Not just the pay-per-views, really. All the UFC cards this year have been really solid. Even this weekend's card, which I thought, but we've lost some fights. It's going to be the main event might be interesting, but the rest of the card's probably not going to be the best. And then it just delivered again. Yeah. Once again, it just delivered. The fight. It's like someone's let a fuse at their ass. Yeah, it is. It really is. The fighters are putting on performance. Start a really, really good performance, and not just in the UFC, in Bellator as well. There were some really good fights in Bellator. Khabib. So is it Khabib's brother or is it his cousin?
I think it's his cousin. Yeah.
So he knocked someone. The lad was actually convulsing on the floor.
Wow. Yeah, really?
And then Khabib. So Khabib's cousin, they were all their teams celebrating. Khabib actually went over and was helping the medics with the guy he knocked out. So shows the type of guy that Khabib is, which is why I'm saying he's not asked about what McGregor says. No, couldn't give a two shits. Yeah. He's too humble for that, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It really is. But yeah, so that was Bellator had quite a solid card, to be honest. Cage Warriors on last night. I've not watched it yet. I'm going to actually watch it later on tonight. So Cage Warriors had their San Diego debut. From what I've seen, from what I've gathered, some of the highlights I've seen, apparently it was a really solid card. Yeah. So it'll be fun to watch that. I'm going to watch that later on. Yeah, definitely a good time to be an MMA fan. Yes, it is. Yes. Because these cards, like you said, they just keep delivering. And we'll see what happens this weekend. And I'll be back with you guys next Monday to recap the UFC 265 card. So be sure to tune in for that. Okay, thank you. I'll see you all next week. Yeah.
Enhanced performance doesn't just take place in the octagon or inside the ring. Performing at a consistently high rate requires a consistent approach in all areas of your life. Outside of training, there is a multitude of things you can do to enhance performance and muscle recovery, including sleeping well, massage, diet and hydration. Now there's one more thing you can actually add to that list, and that is enhanced CBD. This all-natural compound boosts a wide range of potential benefits, and for athletes, especially those engaged in contact or combat sports, CBD's anti-inflammatory and pain-relieving properties are especially promising. Enhanced CBD produce industrial hemp-derived CBD. All of their products are third-party tested and operate above the compliance standards to ensure the efficiency of what they are producing and what is consumed. Train harder, recover smarter with enhanced CBD. Order today using promo code Castaways to get 10% off your order. That's promo code Castaways to get 10% off your order. Visit www.enhancedcd.com. That's ENHANCD.com.